Hello and welcome to the Daily Report for Wednesday, the 1st of February 2023. Today's Mill news. Even though it is only Wednesday, we have our next game on Saturday. The game is nearly sold out. So Mill expecting bumper attendance for Sunderland clash. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. The Lions are likely to register their highest attendance of the season at the Den on Saturday afternoon. Millwall are hoping to sell out their clash against Sunderland this week, and the Lions have already sold out most of the Den, with Sunderland expected to bring a full allocation of 3,000 to SE16 on Saturday afternoon. In total, there are now less than 1,500 tickets available in the home end, with under 600 tickets remaining in the Coldblow Lane end. The club have also confirmed that tickets can be purchased by season ticket holders and members who can bring a guest in blocks 27 to 30 of the Barry Kitchener stand. That's the West Lower, and that is the reason for those restrictions, because that is in throwing distance of the away fans. So that's why that's being restricted to people who can be traced. The match will serve as Millwall's annual Memorial Day fixture, while supporters may get to see new signings Oliver Burkes and Duncan Watmore in action for the first time. October's 2-0 win against Middlesbrough had brought in the highest attendance of the season so far, 15,638 fans at the Den. Saturday's match against the Black Cats is expected to comfortably break that figure. And then they helpfully put a link for you to buy a match ticket if you are worried about not being able to get one if you haven't got one yet. This is a story from the Mill's official website. Let's see if there's a bit more information here. Not really. It's more or less the same stuff. But let's get onto the ticketing website and have a look. How bad is it? Well, it's pretty bad. Well, bad if you're trying to buy a ticket, and probably absolutely amazing if you're John Berylson, Steve Kavanagh, Gary Rowett, the Millwall players, anyone involved in Millwall, because this is, I said this before in the video, I said the Millwall fans will back the team. The Millwall fans, if they think there's something happening on the pitch, behind the scenes, you got John Berylson willing to shell out some money. Obviously that move for Kevin Nisbet didn't happen, but still, brought in Oliver Burke, brought in Duncan Watmore. The fans will get behind them. The fans will see it. They weren't happy with the formation. Formation's changed, kind of reluctantly, I think. But I think the proof is in the pudding now. You can see that. But now Gary Rowett's kind of sticking it too much. And in the most recent game against Cardiff, he did change the formation just to shore it up at the end and make sure we kept that clean sheet and went away with a 1-0 win, which is the right thing to do. You don't have to stick with the formation all the way through. Like, play an attacking formation to win the game, get in front, and then switch it to defend a bit better. But yeah, so this is what's left. 14 and 13 blocks are limited. That's Sampa's family stand. You need to bring a kid with you to get into that one, so that's kind of restricted as well. So do 20, obviously it's not on here now, but 27, 28, 29 and 30 are the ones you need to, I'm not logged in. If you logged in and you needed to buy a membership, I think that's what they said, or a season ticket, you can get in that section there. But other than that, you're looking at Coldblow Lane stand, which used to be go anywhere, but they kind of restricted it now. It used to be literally you bought upper or lower, and then you just went in and sat where you wanted to sit, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like the old days. You could non-league kind of situation. You could sit one area in the first half, move around, go over, second half sit with someone else, chat with your mates, chat with various different mates that you got. But now it's kind of fixed seating, so it is what it is, isn't it? So yeah, not a lot of seats left, and if you want to sit West up, that's done. West lower, you need to be a season ticket holder or a member or a guest of one, and East lower's done as well. So not many options for you, not many options at all. And it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. You still got 2 more days left, and then there's match day. So I mean, this is kind of incredible. Obviously, with support like that, it's going to make the atmosphere at the Den pretty amazing, and hopefully we see a bit of magic on the pitch, because this is kind of a must-win game, because we're going to start to play the teams around us in the table now. Sunderland, I think we're level with them at the moment. A draw wouldn't be a bad result, but we need to start winning games, because it's teams now who can win the games or who will make their way up the league, and that's what we need to be doing. It's going to be hard, because we're playing Sheffield United. We might be playing Luton. That might be postponed. We've got Burnley. We got Sheffield United, Burnley on Saturday and Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, pretty quickly. Yeah, so this month coming up is going to be pretty intense. So when we come to March, if we're still marching on in March, I mean, the fans are going to be absolutely buzzing. Because if we can probably get 3 wins from February, this is going to be an absolutely amazing run till the end of the season. And when the fans get buzzing, it's just going to keep going and going and going. I mean, we go to QPR sold out. We sold out our allocation. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely buzzing. But we need to start well in this game. I think this is going to be a marker of intent, and let's hope we can see some magic. I hope maybe from the new lads, Watmore and Oliver Burkes. So, talking of Oliver Burke, they love taking pictures of training, and they've done it again. This time they've gone back to Calmont Road. They've sorted out what was going on there. It's dried out or whatever, and they're back at Calmont Road, and then we got some pictures there. Oliver Burke joins Millwall teammates at Calmont Road. Oliver Burke trained with his new Millwall teammates at Calmont Road on Tuesday afternoon. Take a look at the gallery below as the Lions continue to prepare for Saturday's blockbuster meeting with Sunderland at the Den in the Sky Bet Championship. So there you go. Yeah, there he is, wearing gloves and trackies. It's not even that cold, is it? Yeah, look, there's Hutch with short sleeves and shorts on. Right, it's not even that cold, mate. But yeah, so let's see who we can see. There's Shackleton. There's Abdul Malik. I know that backside anywhere. Oliver Burke again. Yeah, they could focusing on Burke for some reason. Vogelsammer, kind of happy. Adam Barrett there. There's Abdul Malik. There's Arthur Penny. Seems to have grown a bit since the last time saw him. Billy Mitchell there. Hope he's okay. Bikovsky. Bresswell there. He stayed, didn't go anywhere. Danny McNamara. Paul Summer talking to Oliver Burke about Germany. Probably. I don't know, maybe. George Evans there. He's still here, didn't go anywhere. Bradshaw behind him. Honeyman. George Long. Gary Rabbit pointing the finger. You! Get a drink. There's George Saville. There's Joe Wright there. Mason Bennett had a shave. And I think, are we back to the beginning now? Yeah, I think we are now. More or less. I don't think we're going to see any surprises. There's Scott Malone there. That's a new one. Romain Esse still there. Ryan Leonard. Murray Wallace there, back from his foot injury. So, seems to be a full house. Who are we missing? Tyler Burry's missing still, I think. And the new geezer, Doma Maku. Haven't seen him. There's Connell Truman. Yeah, so interesting. So the first team squad there, training for the game. And you've got the likes of Abdul Malik and Arthur Penny involved. On Tuesday, after they played in the game against Charlton on the Monday. So kind of interesting. I don't know if someone saw what they did in that game and thought, yeah, they look alright, let's bring them in to the first team training. I don't know. But there you go, more pictures from training. Now, we've got this story from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall forward excited by deadline day spending as English clubs dominate the transfer market. Premier League sides showed their strength in the January transfer window by spending more than £700 million between them. Yeah, indeed. Mason Bennett believes that English football clubs are now the strongest in Europe. The Premier League teams dominate the January transfer window. Chelsea were by far the biggest spenders, adding the likes of Mikhailo Modric and Enzo Fernandez to their squad in recent weeks, with the latter becoming the biggest British transfer fee at a reported £106 million last night. There were some surprising moves too, such as three-time Champions League winner Keylor Navas joining newly promoted Nottingham Forest on loan. Bournemouth, who were also playing Championship football last season, ended up splashing the cash as well. Cherries were linked to a sensational move for Italian youngster Nicolo Zaniolo, having seemingly beaten Serie A giants AC Milan to his signature before the deal fell through late on. It shows the immense divide between English clubs and the rest of Europe. We're struggling. Premier League sides are able to compete financially with some of the biggest outfits in the world of football. Some supporters see this as a major issue, but Mason Bennett believes it could create an enhanced level of competitiveness at a domestic level. You have to give credit to the English game, to be fair, he told Nizzetden. Obviously, you've got the Premier League, which is the best league in the world. The Championship for me is right up there as one of the top 3 or 5 leagues to watch. All the top players want to come to this country and play. The money's here now too, because you've got American investors coming over and the likes of Newcastle that have Saudi investment. It's catching people's eyes and everyone wants to invest. Players know the competitiveness of this country and they want to come over. So they're obviously doing something right over here. Indeed. It's a globalized business now. It's massive stuff. They are selling the game in America pretty well. The EPL they call it, being shown, I believe, by Fox on Saturday night, which is kind of incredible. But what it is, it's content filler, because what you've got to realize is they've lost all their decent shows to streaming services like Netflix and whatnot, and to replace the shows is too expensive. So to have a 90-minute, highly competitive, dramatic soccer match is good for them, but it needs to be interesting and attractive. Having the fans there, a well-attended crowd in English game, making a lot of noise, it adds to that. Having players from around the world that people can connect with, that also helps. So yeah, and you now got all these places coming from around the world to invest in English teams. So it does help. Not only that, but I think the taxes in this country are pretty reasonable for the multi-millionaire players, and you can make a lot of money. So you come here, you make a lot of money in terms of wages, and you get to keep quite a bit of it as well. Unlike Spain, which is in the midst of a socialist revolution at the moment, and other countries around Europe where the taxes are just astronomical. the taxes in this country pretty normal. So if you're a millionaire player, why not come to England? Why not? But let's have a look at what Mill did in the January transfer window and what that means for the rest of the league. So this is from londonfootballscene.co.uk. Mill's January transfer window. Deadline day deals could provide Lions with a championship playoff boost. Indeed, but is it enough? Because it is an arms race. It's not enough for us to go forward. We need to go forward more than the other teams. If other teams have improved their squads, that kind of is like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But we'll get into that in a minute. But we're going to read this first, though. A late foray into the transfer market gave Millwall fans some much needed deadline day drama as Gary Rowett left it late to bring attacking reinforcements to the den. Given their significant summer outlay, it was important the Lions spent money wisely and recruited in the right places during this month's window. Rowett's early season shift to a 4-2-3-1 and exposed a lack of depth in the wide positions, and coupled with Bennett's departure, made bolstering the attacking line the main priority. The early January signing of Adomo Maku from Shamrock Rovers looks like good forward planning, with the 19-year-old prospect unlikely to move the needle for the Lions here and now. However, Millwall made a bold move in the last week of the window as a club record bid of around £2.5 million for Hibernian striker Kevin Nisbet was accepted. It was another sign of the ambition the club have shown in the market this season, with Nisbet's age profile and goal-scoring record making the Scottish forward appear to be a gem of a signing. Unfortunately, at the 11th hour, an apparent change of heart saw the 25-year-old fly back to Scotland and call the deal off, appearing to leave Millwall struggling to make any significant additions in such a short space of time. Well, we now know that Millwall brought up concerns about his muscle strength in the medical. I don't know, but we don't know if they called the deal off, or if they just tried to use that to renegotiate the deal. But we do know that Millwall had concerns about muscle strength in his injured leg, but he had a knee injury, he didn't have a muscle injury. And we now know he played 20 minutes off the bench on Saturday, started on the Tuesday, got injured after 23 minutes on the Tuesday with a hamstring injury. So hey ho, that seemed to be a very good call at the time. Very, very good call. And we will see how good it was at the end of the season. So Lions fans will have been surprised at news of 2 arrivals just a day before the window closed. The return of Oliver Burke on loan from Werder Bremen and Duncan Watmore for an undisclosed fee. Burke impressed Rowett during a loan spell from Sheffield United in the second half of last season and looked certain to move permanently in the summer before an offer to join the Bundesliga side appeared too good to turn down. Time in Germany hasn't gone quite to plan for the 25-year-old though. With just 1 start this season, he's back in Bermondsey to reintroduce his much-needed direct pace and ball-carrying ability to the side. While he arguably didn't set the world alight in his first spell, the forward grew in confidence to add depth across the front line by being utilised both as an out-and-out striker and a wide man. Yeah, but the formation wasn't set up for that. It's almost certainly set up for him now. The formation that we play now, this is going to be bread and butter to this guy now. And I don't know if he's going to start because he's been coming off the bench for Werder Bremen. He hasn't been starting for them, so he hasn't got a lot of minutes. But he's been used a lot as a sub. And I don't think Gary Rowett will want to shit on Vogelsammer like that, but Vogelsammer's not working out on the right. And when he was working at the start, when he first came in, he was being brought in as a sub, and he was coming up against tired defenders and he was hitting bars and doing things like that, making fantastic shots and ooh and ah in the crowd. But since he's been starting, he's not doing anything. So why not start Oliver Burke? And then why not take him off and bring Duncan Watmore on? Why not? Or vice versa. So a winger who can drive at players and progress the side up the pitch would be a great asset. And should Burke be able to get up to speed quickly, he will offer dimension that is seriously lacking from Millwall's current wide options. Yes. Well, except for one, Tyler Burry. He does have a bit of pacing and does use it directly, but at the moment he's injured. So, in comparison, the signing of 28-year-old Duncan Watmore may have raised a few eyebrows amongst Millwall and Middlesbrough fans, but could turn out to be a shrewd bit of business. Like Burke, Watmore is a ball carrier who can progress play up the field through dribbling and passing, and also chips in with goals. He's 5 so far this season, already more than all of 4 of Millwall's wide options combined. Ouch! Yes. If he can replicate that form for Millwall, then he will prove to be a crucial addition for the run-in and a massive blow to our direct playoff rival in the form of Middlesbrough. Millwall may have missed out on their big money target this window, but big moves in January often go awry, while ready-made championship attackers who should be able to make an instant impact can prove more valuable. It may not be splashing the cash as much as fans would have hoped, but for now, Millwall have strengthened their weakest area, added variety to the attack, and may well have set themselves up for a strong end to the season. Yes, indeed, but so it came out that the club had been working on the Watmore deal for around 10 days or so before the transfer deadline. So it's 11 days now. 11 days ago. So that means the intention at first was to bring in Nisbet and to bring in Watmore. So they brought in Watmore. Now, why was Watmore delayed? Because Middlesbrough were willing to let him go, but they wanted to sign a replacement first. So that was on hold until they did that. Once they did that, then the Watmore deal went through and was confirmed, all done and dusted. Fabuloso. So that was already in the works. So the idea was Nisbet and Watmore. Instead, we got Watmore and then out of left field Oliver Burke, which we often do these deals. We go back in for players who've left. A lot of players come back to us because obviously they want to go and play for bigger clubs. Like, no offense, well, I love Millwall, but they're not the biggest of clubs. They probably don't pay the biggest of wages. There are clubs out there who can pay more wages, but they go, they get the money, they get the bag, and then they come back to Millwall, and that's probably the best that we could probably hope for, that they can do that. That they start here, they enjoy it here, but they understand, look, I've got to go and get some money. They go off, they get some money, do a bit for other clubs, but then they think, you know what? I'm kind of bored of this now. Let's go back to Millwall. That's kind of good, no? That's it's kind of good in a way. So we talked about Millwall's transfers, the 2 that we made, and the young man Idoma Maku. But what about everyone else? What have they done? Well, here we go again. This is Transfer Market with no e.co.uk. It's a German website. I don't know if it says .co.uk, but it's German. We know it's German. And they basically keep a whole load of stats and stuff. And they very helpfully have a list of winter transfers for the Championship, which is the one place that I could get them. The other websites do the transfers by date. They don't do it by league, so it's kind of hard to sort it out and see who made who. So we're going to go through the Championship now. We're going to have a quick scroll through. A player that we were linked with there, Longjello. He went on loan to Birmingham. Birmingham made the loan into a permanent deal. and they ended up signing centre back. Now, why is it Birmingham? We're not competing with Birmingham for a playoff place, but it's important as well. Why? Because we might have to play them. We've still got to play some of these teams at the bottom, and we know it's not going to be easy. Like, we couldn't beat Wigan at the Den because they're fighting for their lives. Teams at the bottom are fighting for their lives. There's no easy games in this league. So we still have to play Birmingham at the Den, and here's what business that they did. And obviously this website, they're a bit weird because they include loans, so you can see where it says player out. They've got Emmanuel Longello because he went out because his loan finished, but then it's because the loan was turned into a permanent deal. So it's kind of weird they do this thing with loans. But yeah. So here's Blackburn. So they brought in Sorba Thomas from Huddersfield. Sorba Thomas probably Huddersfield's best player, but probably one of the players who flattered to deceive. He clearly sees the problems at Huddersfield and decided to bail out, and that was a loan. So interesting. Huddersfield said, "Well, we're not going to sell you, or Blackburn can't afford to buy you, and no one else does. So, but he wanted to leave, so there's a loan there, or maybe his contract's up at the end of the season. I don't know, but yep, he's off. So that's all that Blackburn have done. They brought in him. Now Blackburn, I think the weakest of the teams up there. To be honest with you, they lose a lot of games. They've only drawn, I think, one game. They drew another game the other day in the cup, so they've kind of started to draw games now. Which is not good. You need to win games when you're in the playoff hunt, which is what I said about the game on Saturday. We need to win that game. Even though a point would not be a bad result because it stops them from getting 3 points. It takes 2 points off of them. We really need those extra 2 points ourselves. We need 3 points out of that game. So I would rather take 3 points for ourselves than deny 2 from Sunderland, if you know what I mean. Here's Blackpool. They're obviously very busy trying to stay up there. 3 loans coming in. And they brought in right back from Shamrock Rovers. Couple of frees. So there you go. Trying to shore up their defence, it looks like. Now here's Bristol City. Is kind of interesting. Semenyo. They got massive amount of money for Semenyo. How? Like, how and why? What? Interestingly, I think they cut Chris Martin. They let him go on a free because I assume his contract's up at the end of the season. They probably tried to sort a deal out for him. Couldn't do it, and they just said, "Oh, we'll make you a free agent so you can find a club." Will we end up at Millwall? Because he has been I think he's a player we've been linked with in the past. It's Chris Martin, but he's 34 now, so I don't know about that. He's 6 foot or so, but he's available on free till the end of the season. Might be worth a shout if his attitude's right. I don't know, but they let 2 goalkeepers go. They sold one to Wolves, which is interesting. That Wolves are buying a goalkeeper from Bristol City. Kind of weird. I don't know why. And maybe they're getting ready for Championship football next season. And they brought in one. They brought in a goalkeeper from Bodo Glimt. Burnley is Burnley. Interesting. They're buying centre forwards and stuff. They got Obafemian on loan, so they're improving their attack. Is this kind of weird because they're almost certain to go up? Obviously, nothing's certain in this league; it's not guaranteed. So, are these players really Premier League kind of players? I don't know. I don't think so. They might need to bring in a bit more quality, but certainly letting a few players go out. A few of the older players, certainly. have gone out. Cardiff City. Oh dear. One striker in. Sorry, Kaba. From FC Midtjylland in Denmark, and that's a loan. Coventry. Left back, right back, centre back in. Centre forward in. Sean Maguire from Preston, so playing that knows the league. Interesting. And Martin Waghorn out the door. Played for Millwall on loan in the past on Huddersfield. So interesting stuff there from Coventry. Few players in, few players out. Interesting stuff. Huddersfield Town, obviously a lot of players coming in. Mostly loans, a couple of frees. Trying to stay up. Goalkeeper from Olympiacos, Czechia goalkeeper. Quite a few old players though. 33, 32, 31, 33. One of them's a goalkeeper, so that's not too bad. They actually brought in two goalkeepers. One on a free transfer from Olympiacos, and then Jordan Smith on loan from Nottingham Forest. Okay, it's kind of weird. Hull City. Centre forward in on loan from Brighton. Right winger from Crystal Palace on loan. And a goalkeeper from Newcastle on loan. Okay. A lot of players leaving here. A lot of players leaving. Quite a few players out on loan. Luton. Rival of ours. What have they done? Brought in a goalkeeper from Barnsley. Brought in a centre forward from Peterborough. Brought in a right back on loan from Leeds. And a midfielder. Marvellous. Nakamba. Marvellous, eh? On loan from Aston Villa. Let 36-year-old centre forward Cameron Jerome go to Bolton on free. And sold Harry Cornick centre forward to Bristol City. Middlesbrough. So they've loaned in two players. Cameron Archer, centre forward, Aston Villa. Kind of weird because they had the highest score in the league, Chubac. I think since they loaned that guy in, Chubac hasn't scored. I believe he's still been playing, but has that upset the apple cart now? Well, they've been winning, so guess not. Aaron Ramsey from Aston Villa also on loan. That's not the same Aaron Ramsey, that's a different one, but with the same name. And then they brought in Dan Basala from Rotherham for $1 million. Interesting. And then they let Duncan Watmore leave, obviously to us. Massimo Luongo go. So interesting bit of business from them. Millwall we already know about. The outs, Benica Fobi to Atta Club. Isaac Loffey out, Aidan Muller out, and B-Side Top Lodge out as well, but that's not listed there. Norwich City. They're all thereabouts. They've improved certainly in recent times after their poor start. Marquinhos, a right winger from Arsenal on loan. Brazilian, nevertheless. That's the only player they brought in. They let Jordan Hugill go to Rotherham on a free, which is interesting because we were interested in signing him last season, and I believe they wouldn't let him come to us. Nice, huh? And then they've just loaned out some kids and let Todd Cantwell go to Rangers. Preston, another interesting one. Obviously, a player who linked with Liam Delap, got him on loan. Got Tommy Cannon on loan from Everton, and got Josh Onoma from Fulham on a free transfer. That's interesting for them. They let Sean Maguire go to Coventry. Queen's Park Rangers loaned in Jamal Lowe, another player we were trying to sign, apparently. Let Bonnie go to Charlton. Let George Thomas go to Cambridge. And then loaned a load of players out as well. So not a lot of business being done by the teams that we're competing with for these places here. Reading, obviously, I believe that they have, they may still have transfer embargo of some type going on there. Obviously, they did have in the summer. I'm not sure what's going on because they've loaned a player here. Maybe they're allowed to loan players in, depending on the fee. Maybe it's a free loan based on actually having to play them. I don't know, but yeah, they loaned a kid from Chelsea. Rotherham United, obviously fighting to stay up. Got Julian Newgill from free from Norwich. And then loaned in a load of players there. Sheffield United, no new arrivals. That is because they are under a transfer embargo because the owner has not paid for the players that he's already brought in. He's missed payments to clubs, which you cannot do. That is one of the biggest sins in the football world is not paying other clubs, or paying other clubs first and then paying other players. If you miss wages, that's a no-no as well. And that will get you in all kinds of trouble now. And yeah, they've got a transfer embargo. Now, is this good news for us? Now, they are slightly ahead. They've got a bit of a cup run on. So interesting stuff. I mean, can they be cool? Can they be cool? Who knows? Would be interesting. Would certainly try and do that. Stoke City got loans in, only loans. Obviously, I think they've got financial stuff as well. I was reading the owners have just converted like debt to loans or something, and people complaining about that. So they've got 5 loans there. The thing with loans is you don't really know. Is this a loan to a permanent? Because then obviously the player's going to try and impress. Is it a loan with a hotshot kid who thinks he's the bee's knees and he's just going to be annoying and useless? We don't know. So you do not know. Is it a loan from a geezer for you got the Dijon kid there? He's coming in on loan, so obviously this is his chance to impress because he's in England, but he probably wants to be playing in the Premier League. So he might put some effort in and try and get himself noticed. They sold Harry Suter to Leicester for 17 million. Wow. Wow. Sunderland, the team we're playing on Saturday, what did they do? What have they done? They loaned in a defensive midfielder from a West Ham. They loaned in Joe Anderson, centre back from Everton. They loaned in a centre forward from Leeds, Joe Gelhardt. And they loaned in a right winger from Lille. Again, all young players. Will they have a bit of an attitude on? Will they struggle to fit in? Coming from bigger clubs, Everton, Leeds, West Ham. Or will they be the ultimate professionals? Because Ellis Sims did alright, didn't he? You can see him there, he's an out. He did very well there that Everton actually brought him back and started playing it. So, there you go. But, we shall see. Swansea, no one in. Watford, obviously, probably had one of the worst starts imaginable of the teams. They got relegated. We beat them twice, and it must have been bad. Not only did we beat them, we actually destroyed them both games. I can't understand how other teams are not beaten. because they just they can't pass it around. They kind of knock it forward to the one of the attacking guys, and then they dribble forward with it. And as soon as you stand them up and force them to pass it, they can't pass the toffee. I can't see how a professional football manager or coach is not looking at the film from these games. Just look at the games that they played against Millwall and say, okay, we need to play like that. I mean, they have brought in Ryan Porteous, a player that we were linked with in the past. Obviously, we don't have to worry about them because we played them twice. So I'm saying, like, when you look through the teams, even the teams that we're not competing with, obviously we're competing with Watford for a playoff place, because I believe they're above us in the league right now. But even if it's like a team like Rotherham or so, we've probably still got to play them now. But Watford, done and dusted, played them twice, beat them twice, job done. We're just checking how the players are going to do going forward in playing against the rest of the league. West Brom, they brought in Chalabar from Fulham, and they brought in Mark Albrighton, 33-year-old from Leicester on loan. And they let Kenneth Zohore go. I think they actually cut him free, set him free. They tried to get a deal done to get him out the door, and then they said, well, okay, he's available on a free, and he's gone back to Odense in Denmark. So a lot of people were joking we'll probably end up signing him, but that did not happen. Thank the Lord. Was that it? Can he play for Ireland? Oh, Cote d'Ivoire. Okay. Wigan, another team in trouble. Brought in Kolo Toure and then gave him 9 games and showed him the door pretty quickly as well. What was that? Brought in a right back and a centre back, Stephen Corker. That's an old name from the past. And then a number of loans. 2 from Arsenal there. So we'll see how they do. But yeah. So in terms of who had the best transfer window, Millwall not doing too badly, I think. I think if you bring in too many players at this time, it's probably gonna mess you up. If you don't bring in any, I think it could be a bit jaded. If you get too many injuries, it would be a problem. So we brought in 3, which is not bad. You can see Middlesbrough brought in 3. Luton brought in 4, so that's about right. The managers always say, "Oh, we only need 2 more players." They're all thereabouts, 2 or 3 players, and we're sweet. So seems to have been the case. I think, and if you bring in more than that, it might go a bit awry. So we will see. We will see. Yeah, we're gonna finish the video by moving on to this. If you're still watching, if you haven't switched off or fallen asleep through boredom. What is on in SE16 in February 2023? That is right. It is January's done and dusted already. Can you believe it? We are in the 2nd month of the year. The time has flown by. Seems like ages since the World Cup was on. That was only in December. We've got the coffee mornings. They're on Wednesdays. So Wednesday. We got obviously Sunderland, first home game of February. Close to being a sellout. I think it will be, man. I mean, I think there's like 600 tickets left. Now they were saying on Twitter it was 1,500 at the start of the day, as I told you in the stories earlier. But the last one on Twitter is they're saying 600. They're putting up messages from the players saying, "Oh, come down and make the game a sellout. We want to see you down there." Really trying hard to sell those tickets, and you understand why. Losing all that money in the Hummel deal. spending money on players, got a training ground to pay for. So certainly trying to get as much money as they can. But still doing the coffee mornings, free coffee and shit like that. Tea and biscuits. It's free, just pop down, and if you've never been in there, it's held in the exec lounge. If you've never been in there and just want to have a nose around, go and use the toilets and shit like that. Let's pop in. Stadium tour on Monday the 13th. Is that? I think is that half term week that week. So that's not the junior tour though. The junior tour is on Thursday. They've got 2 tours. The Monday 13th one, that's already sold out. There's a coffee morning on Wednesday the 15th. Thursday the 16th, junior stadium tour. That's priced very cheaply. If you're still looking for something to do during a half term, get on that. It's a very good deal. Saturday the 18th. Yeah, here we go. Look. So Saturday and Tuesday we've got Millwall versus Sheffield United. That game is actually on Sky, hence the reason it's at 12:30. That game, although it's a big game, probably not going to be as well attended as the Sunderland game or the game after it, the Burnley game. Because as I said, I believe the Burnley game might actually be on Mill TV as well. It's a midweek game. They might try and announce it as late as possible. Because I think that will be a very well attended game, a night game at the Den. 7:45 PM kickoff on Tuesday the 21st of February against the leaders in the league. And that's the kind of game that the fans will want to attend. And even though it is a night game, pretty sure they're going to make an exception for that and get themselves down there because stuff seems a bit tasty. Unlike the one against Sheffield United, where they're going to have to wake up pretty bloody early, get there for 12:30 PM, and why bother when it's on Sky Television and you've already got a subscription? So, but hopefully we still get a result on that one. And then we go to Wednesday the 22nd, another coffee morning. So there you go. That's all the stuff that's going on in February. Now, will we get a statement? We usually get the monthly statements from Steve Kavanagh. Will we get one for the start of February? Who knows? But if we do, I'll let you know in a future video. Maybe tomorrow's, maybe not. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.